I would like to ask the Chairman of the Manx Utilities Authority what consideration has been given to the issue of odour control for the proposed Laxey treatment works.
And the Chairman of the MUA, Dr Allinson.
Thank you, Mr President. Manx Utilities is intending to apply for planning permission to install integral rotating biological contractors at Peel, Laxey and Baldrine to complete the regional sewage treatment scheme for the island. These are closed systems unlike to the open process at Mary Veg. Such facilities produce minimal odour, but in order to further reduce this risk, the proposed scheme for Laxey has been designed to have a comprehensive odour control system built in as standard. This employs filtration of the air around the IRBC through a filter and was described to local residents during the well-attended public consultation held during October 2018. Manx Utilities has confirmed that the operating procedures to be carried out on the site will also ensure that the odour control media, typically activated carbon granules, will be replaced as soon as instruments monitoring its effectiveness indicates this is required. We have therefore ensured that the risk of any odour being released is minimised, but have constantly stated we cannot guarantee odour will never be released due to unforeseen circumstances. Thank you, Mr President.
Supplementary, Mrs Caine.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the Chairman for that reply. Can I ask him if he would provide any details of any complaints that the MUA has received in respect of IRBCs or other sewage works under their control, and has any compensation been paid previously?
On the Chairman to reply.
Thank you, Mr President. Currently, the Manx Utilities operate 13 sites where we use IRBCs. No complaints have been received regarding odour from any of these works in recent years, other than Balladool and Kirkmichael. The installation of odour control equipment has addressed the issues at Kirkmichael. No compensation payments have been made relating to odours emanating from any of the Manx Utilities infrastructure.
Honourable Member for Garff, Mr Perkins, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. So this high-tech odour-suppressing system is not to be sniffed at, if I may just quip. But joking aside, this is a serious matter for the people of Laxey. If it goes wrong, what will the consequences be? So I would like to ask the Chairman, if I may, when do these carbon filters have to be changed? How often? And is the IRBC closed down while this operation is undertaken?
Chairman to reply.
Thank you, Mr President. In terms of how often the filtration and carbon filters need to actually be replaced, that depends on the operation of the works, which obviously depends on the amount of sewage going through it. What we have said is that in Laxey we will be fitting instrumentation to monitor the progress of the filters. When they're getting down to needing replacement, they will be replaced straight away. And obviously during the replacement process, some of the air filtration system has to be turned off to allow this to be done in a safe and effective manner without the release of odours into the local air. Thank you.
Supplementary, Mrs Caine.
Thank you, Mr President. Can I ask the Chairman if he would expand a little for us and say, is the monitoring going to include times that we are told that daily sewage wagon is going to be operating to the IRBCs? And would he accept that in Kirkmichael the issue seemed to be exacerbated by the steep-sided valley where it's located, and that is a similar concern that in Laxey there's a very steep bank and it is at the centre of a tourist amenity, whereas many of these other IRBCs are located at some distance from the tourist amenity or the beach?
Chairman to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr President. During desludging activities, malodorous air can be released from the tanker exhaust. The odour control equipment incorporates a special attachment to capture this air and process it before it can be released into the atmosphere. In terms of the situation at Kirkmichael, one of the issues there was to do with, we think, the geography of the area and some sewage being left in the pipes not draining effectively. We do not expect this to be the same situation in Laxey because of the steepness of the hills there. Thank you.
Supplementary, Mr Perkins.
Thank you, Mr President. And I thank the Chairman for his reply. Just coming on to the fact that the application for planning has not gone in as yet, If it goes in and is refused, will this sort of filtration be put on the pumping stations that presumably we're going to have to join into the Irish project? Or would the pumping stations have a similar sort of filtration system?
Chairman to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the member for his question. Yes, I can confirm that in the large pumping stations, odour can be an issue, and so we have installed odour suppression systems at the Bolland site in Ramsey for this very reason, and if we did need to put in extra pumping stations around the Laxey area, these would be fitted with odour suppression equipment as well.